Stations. And now we're on to the clean and jerk. Alexyev has the fans in Columbus riveted. And Bob Beatty has the call.
Now, Joe Doobie of the United States. This will be his third attempt. He'll be trying to lift 462 3/4 pounds. And he didn't make it. And that's a tough break for Joe Doobie. And now the 29-year-old librarian from Belgium, Serge Redding, preparing for his third attempt at the clean and jerk. Runner-up in last year's competition. He's had a little trouble already today. He's failed in his first 2 tries at this event. This would mean that if he doesn't make this, he won't be eligible for a medal in the overall combined competition, and it's the overall weight that everybody really points for. Serge Redding, on the other hand, if he does make it, he should have a lock on second place. 280 pounds on a 5'6" frame. The only man, along with Alexyev, to do 499 1/4 pounds. Trying now for 473 3/4 pounds in his third lift. He's made the clean. And he's made it. And Serge Redding from Belgium moves into second place behind Alexyev of Russia. And now, the man who holds the lead, the world record holder, first time in the World Championships, Vasily Alexyev of Russia. If he makes this, he is completely assured of first place in the overall standings. If he does make this, he will be free then to take his second attempt and go for that elusive 500-pound lift. Never before done. And he does it easily. That will assure Alexyev of Russia first place in the overall total in the World Weightlifting Championships. Alexyev of Russia, ready now to take his second attempt at the clean and jerk. This man has already clinched the overall total weight championship. But this lift has added significance, for if he makes it, he will be the first man ever to lift 500 pounds or more in competition. The weight here is 501 1/2 pounds. You might notice the bandages on Alexyev's thumbs. The reason for that, those hands are raw from lifting these weights. No man has ever lifted 500 pounds in competition. Alexyev has the chance to do it now, 1/4 ton. Look at the concentration on that face. This would also equal his own world record for overall total weight, 1,350 1/4 pounds. But now, the big thing, can he become the first man to lift 1/4 ton, 500 pounds? Hey, he has the clean. He has it if he can hold it. He does. Alexyev of Russia has just lifted 501 1/2 pounds. The first man ever in competition to lift over 500 pounds. Final results in the super heavyweight division. Alexyev of Russia first, Redding of Belgium second, Daidalos of Finland third. That's the story from Columbus, Ohio.
Coming up next, we go to...
Devours odor. Want to feel a new kind of clean? Neutrogena Men Power Scrub Deodorant Bar has it wrapped up.
a good wrench.
One example, wait. All his competition. Example, weightlifter John Davis of Brooklyn won all his competitions between 1938 and 1953. He took the gold in London in 1948 and in Helsinki in 1952. The Jesse Owens tradition
was founded by a Spaniard on behalf of the King of Spain and in the name of the Spanish Catholic Church. The whole country has the aroma of antiquity about it, the scent of the conquistadores, the aftertaste of their adventurism. This is a monument to the city's founder. That's supposed to be his leathery old corpse in that glass case. The Peruvians were, among other things, noted for their embalming art. Their embalming art, their fighting spirit. Private boys' school, 10 minutes from the shriveled 400-year-old remains of Juan Pizarro. 155 athletes from 21 nations have come together to see whose trained youthful muscles can lift the heaviest weights. Inside the gymnasium now for the super heavyweight class of the World Weightlifting Championships here in Lima. These fellows, most of them anyway, will be weighing over 300 pounds. The excitement of the crowd is starting to mount, and so are the weights, because coming up is Vasily Alexyev, the world champion from Russia. And we're about to see a world record attempt by Vasily Alexyev, who you're watching here from Russia. This will be his second attempt in the press. He's already made 473 pounds. This one will be for 500.4. That would be a new world record, and he would be the first man in the press to lift over 500 pounds. He's cleaned it. There he is, the strongest man in the world, who has just set a new world record in the press. What a battle this is.
28 kilos.
Alexyev has already broken the world record. And here we have Redding trying to better that. This is his third attempt. He's already made 473 pounds. Remember, Alexyev still has one more lift to go. He's cleaned it. He's made it! Now he's looking back to see if it's a good lift. He has to wait now to see what the judges say. It is! Saul's Redding has now broken Alexiev's record. 502.6 pounds. Until a few minutes ago, no one had even lifted over 500 pounds in the press. Now we've seen it twice, and maybe we're even going to see it a third time. £507 pounds. A lot of pressure having been put on by Redding. He's made the clean. He's got it. He's got the press. 507 pounds. Vasily Alexyev breaking the world record, then having it broken by Redding, and then back again. This has been an incredible series of world record-breaking lifts. That concludes the press. Right now, with the clean and jerk about to start, the World Weightlifting Championships is coming to a conclusion. And now we have Ken Patera coming back up at his second attempt in the clean and jerk, and at 469 pounds, the weight we just saw him miss. That 212.5 that we see in the background, remember, is kilos. We translated that to pounds for you.
Second attempt, 212.5 kilos.
Coming up, though, Alexyev, you're seeing him here.
Still see.
His record again, 517 pounds for this lift, the clean and jerk. He has it cleaned. And he makes it! Patera, 469 pounds. Uh-oh. It looks like Patera might have injured his leg. Okay, you can see it. 235.5 kilos. This means that 518 pounds is what Alexyev is going to try to lift. This would give him a new world record, the record that he now holds, 517 pounds. You can hear the tension in this crowd. It was just last year in Columbus, Ohio, that 500 pounds was broken for the first time by this man, Vasily Alexyev. He's cleaned it. He's cleaned it. He has it. He has it. And Alexyev doesn't even want to turn it down. Alexyev has broken his own world record, 518 pounds. Vasily Alexyev of Russia, the strongest man in the world, and he's finally happy. Being congratulated by his coaches. A great performance in this World Championship. Alexyev way out in front. Ken Patera of the United States second.
Let's press forward and go full circle and catch up on the latest in the world weightlifting scene and our friend Vasily Alexyev. The competition continues to be a very popular Olympic event, despite various doping scandals involving the use of steroids by lifters. By the early 90s, Alexyev became one of the biggest spokesmen against the use of steroids in weightlifting. Alexyev broke 80 official weightlifting records, yet his dream of breaking 100 was never fulfilled. Weightlifting championships appeared on Wide World of Sports 39 times. From mountain climbing to bodybuilding to super heavy weightlifting, you probably need a spotter because you're so pumped up. Well, we'll wrap up our super manly show when we continue.
In the 100-kilogram division coming up, our favorite will be the 1984 Olympic gold medalist in the 90-kilo class, Nico Vlad from Romania. He's moved up in weight. His top competition will come from a pair of Soviets and a pair of Bulgarians.
So all of the weightlifters will be participating in both of the Olympic lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk. Earlier, we had a chance to illustrate the two techniques for the two different lifts.
Mike Cohen of the United States will show us the proper technique used in the snatch lift. As Mike approaches the bar, notice that he'll take a wider hand spacing in the snatch lift. Watch for two things. Does he keep the bar close to the body, and does he move very fast? It's a lift of technique, the snatch lift. At this point, Mike's securing his balance in the bottom position, then standing up, demonstrating control for the referees. A good lift. Notice the two hand spacing differences. On the bottom, Mike with the snatch lift, the wider hand spacing. On the top, Ken Clark with the closer hand spacing in the clean. And here, Ken Clark of the United States will demonstrate the proper technique for the clean and jerk, the second half of the two Olympic lifts. Again, a closer hand spacing. It's a two-stage motion, bringing the bar from the floor up to the shoulders, called the clean, using back and legs. Again, keeping the bar close to the body, very important. At this point, Ken will thrust the weight overhead to arm's length, splitting the legs, and again, bringing the feet back in line, demonstrating control. Let's take a look here as Ken Clark will show us on the left the proper technique in the clean, slow motion, bringing the bar up to the shoulders. Again, he jumps underneath the bar, keeping the elbows very high. Very important in the clean. And on the right, Mike Cohen pulling in the snatch lift. Again, similar technique, but Mike, of course, pulling the bar directly overhead in one continuous motion. That's the difference right there. Now, Ken will have to complete the clean, standing up at this point, using legs, resting the bar on the shoulders. Now watch as he thrusts the weight overhead, splitting the legs, getting the bar to arm's length. And now on the right, Mike Cohen in the snatch lift will complete that lift by standing up, securing his balance, bringing the feet back in line. And again on the left, Ken Clark will complete his lift by bringing the feet back in line, demonstrating control for the referees. Two different techniques for two different lifts.
Our favorite in the competition appearing to a warm welcome here at Izmolovo Stadium, Nico Vlad from Romania. Looked very confident in the warm-up area. See the coaches in the sideline. Coach is so important in the sport, giving you perhaps more words of encouragement than technical advice. Vlad's been training 7 years. 1984 Olympic gold medalist in the 90 kilo weight category. He's moved up since. Came in third in the 1985 World Championships, though was ranked #1 overall for the year. Enjoys other sports such as music and swimming, but on this occasion, weightlifting is his favorite sport. 180 kilos in the bar, 396 pounds. Shows Vlad, an excellent technician. Ooh, lifting well within himself. On his opening attempt, Nico Vlad from Romania takes the lead. As you see him walk off here looking quite confident. He knows he's good for more. Vlad in the replay here, keeping the bar very close to the body. Excellent technique, gets directly underneath the barbell. Looking very strong, and all around, very good lift. Hardly even had to walk. Good lift overall. And the crowd here at Izmolovo Stadium giving a warm welcome to the first attempt of Ruslan Balayev of the Soviet Union, ranked #2 in the world in 1985, right behind Nico Vlad from Romania. Excellent competition here. Balayev trains in Grozny. I'm told an all-around sports town, you either wrestle or weightlift, says Coach David Riegert of the national weightlifting squad. Balayev, 24 years of age, lifting more on strength and technique. Let's see how he does here with his opening attempt. 180 kilos, 396 pounds in the bar. Ooh, very easy lift. Balayev responding to Vlad's first attempt. Both handling 180 kilos quite easily. Now watch Balayev here as he pulls the bar, keeps it very close to the body. Very strong all the way through. Eastern Europeans, Bulgarians and Soviets in particular, well-trained athletes, and it shows. If you're looking at Dilyatin Petrov of Bulgaria coming out for his third attempt. 180 kilos, 396 pounds in the bar. Petrov putting that chalk, that's magnesium of carbonate on the hands, helps the weightlifter secure a better grip. Interesting strategy is Petrov opened with 170 kilos, missed it on his first attempt, that's 374 pounds, came back, made it on his second attempt, and now has taken a 10-kilo jump, that's 22 pounds, for his third attempt. But he needs this to stay in the competition against the Soviets, and of course, Vlad of Romania, our favorite. Petrov says he enjoys those twice-a-day workouts in the Bulgarian camp, and look at this. That hard work shows. It pays off. He said, weightlifting is a sport like no other sport. I wouldn't do any other. Petrov, the 23-year-old Bulgarian, showing us excellent technique here. Keeps the bar close to the body, jumps underneath, looking very fit. Very good low position. Most unusual, actually. A good lift. You're looking at Yuri Dondik from the Soviet Union coming out for his first attempt in the snatch competition. 182.5 kilos, 402.25 pounds in the bar. Dondic, very fine competitor, 26-year-old, actually trained by his father, has a younger brother, Igor, who has also totaled the magic 400 kilos in this division. So the father now a merited master of sport for the Ukraine. Here he goes, his opening attempt. Dondic fidgeting over the bar. Very strong all the way through. Dondic showing what it's all about, getting the bar from the floor to overhead in one continuous motion. Placed second at the 1980 Junior World Champions. You see him coming off here. We take another look. Dondic pulling the bar, very strong all the way through. Gets directly underneath. Stands up, showing control. Very powerful. He's good for more.
At this point in the competition, Yuri Dondic is in the lead with a snatch lift of 402 1/4 pounds. Niko Vlad, Ruslan Belayev, and Didlan Petrov have all lifted 396 3/4 pounds.
You're looking at Ruslan Belayev of the Soviet Union. His second attempt in the snatch competition, 185 kilos, 407 3/4 pounds. Belayev is in the Army, lives in Grozny. He's been training 7 years. His other favorite sport, karate. Ranked number 2 in the world, right behind Vlad in this division in 1985. So he and Vlad have to duke it out. This is the first half of competition. Later on, we'll be seeing more weight lifted in the clean and jerk. This is 407 3/4 pounds in the bar. Fantastic lift if successful. Here he goes, Belayev pulling. A very easy lift. The Soviet showing the Romanian he's not going to give any ground up in the first half of the competition. See Belayev walking off quite confident. He says, "Coach, I'm good for more." The national courtship goes. And here we see Niko Vlad from Romania, our favorite. He's going to be taking 187 1/2 kilos, converts to 413 1/4 pounds. Just 2.5 kilos shy of Vlad's all-time best in this particular event. He said, "The Olympic gold in Los Angeles gave me a lot of confidence that I didn't have before." He won that, of course, in the 90 kilo or 198-pound weight category. He's moved up in weight. Vlad quite personable, one of the more outgoing weightlifters that we've seen here in Moscow. Very well respected, literally exploded on the scene in 1984. Placed third at the 1985 World Championships, and he's been training 7 years. Enjoys music and swimming. But here it's all business, weightlifting. Concentration so important in this sport. Taking a wider hand spacing, collar to collar. Watch Vlad's technique. It's excellent all the way through. Ooh, a surprise. Was he overconfident? As Vlad walks off, did the Soviets put pressure on him by their successes? Let's take another look where Vlad went wrong. Pulls the bar. He's in good position right here. Stands up. Jumps back slightly. That's probably his problem. There you go. The bar's in front. It's high enough, but he has to let it go. Out of position. Not good. Yuri Dondic of the Soviet Union coming out for his second attempt, 187 1/2 kilos, 413 1/4 pounds. Now remember, he weighed in today just about 219 pounds. So this weight approaching 200 pounds over body weight. If successful, this will be a phenomenal feat of strength. Dondic looking quite confident here. And this is but his second attempt. Could easily position him ahead of the Romanian Vlad, the favorite. You can see he's quite relaxed. Said before the competition, "I'm not really nervous." Very big lift here. Dondic makes this. Could have been positioned for the gold. And here he, like Vlad, he missed his second attempt. Somewhat a surprise for the Soviet as he looked so strong in his first attempt. Taking another look at it from a different angle, Dondic pulling the bar. Hips came up a little fast that time. Technique very important in the snatch, and he looks down. What a shame. The lift was almost there.
So Ruslan Belayev has the best lift at this point in the competition, 407 3/4 pounds. Belayev's teammate Yuri Dondik, 402 1/4 pounds. Niko Vlad and Ditlan Petrov, 396 3/4. Belayev, Dondik, and Vlad each have one lift remaining, while Petrov has completed his 3 attempts in the snatch competition. Coming up, Niko Vlad will be going for his 3rd attempt in the snatch.
No more bread and butter, no more crackers and jam. I really want to lighten up, put a Quaker rice cake in my hand.
New Quaker rice cakes, 35 crunchy calories that will fill you up, not up.
No more bread and butter, no more crackers and jam. I really want to lighten up, put a Quaker rice cake in my hand.
Filling, not fattening, lighten up.
Put a Quaker rice cake in my hand.
Big boys got what it takes. Slow burning fuel of whole wheat flakes. Nothing halfway, nothing sweet. Just the staying power of good whole wheat. Yeah, hey bananas, join the team. Fueling up to go full steam. Wheaties, Wheaties, good whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
We'll return with more Turner Network Television Goodwill Games coverage after this from our local stations.
Outrageousness. Outrageousness. Outrageousness? Outrageousness? It's nothing more than a way to wake people up. Wake them up! Especially yourself. Wasn't that fun?
Budweiser's smoking them. The 1985 NHRA World Champion Funny Car. Kenny Bernstein's Budweiser King. 500 cubic inches packed with 3,000 horsepower. The king of beers and the king of racing. Racing fans, this Bud's for you.
So our favorite, the competition, Niko Vlad from Romania, coming out for his 3rd attempt. 413 1/4 pounds in the bar, just 5.5 pounds shy of his best ever. Vlad needs this. Audience showing respect. Since Belayev, the Soviet, missed his 3rd attempt with the same weight, this lift could put Belayev in quite a bit of trouble. Vlad needs this to take the lead, to get away from the Soviets. Here he goes. A good lift all the way through. Niko Vlad from Romania taking the lead. And the crowd quite happy with that. Taking another look at Vlad. Tremendous concentration. He wanted this lift all the way through. 413 1/4 pounds. Most 200 pounds over body weight. An excellent lift. Backstage, Vlad looking quite happy with himself. He has the lead. Only one attempt remains. Yuri Dondik from the Soviet Union will be taking this same weight. 187.5 kilos, 413 1/4 pounds in the bar. 26-year-old Dondik, of course, a seasoned international competitor, placed 2nd at the 1980 Junior World Championships, but he sat out a year, 1984, injuries. He's been training for 9 years. His younger brother, Igor, has also totaled 400 kilos in this division, so it runs in the family. But on this occasion, he's all alone. Out on the weightlifting platform, the weightlifter has to pull it all together. Tremendous courage. Look at that concentration. Dondik securing his grip. Let's see how he does here with this weight. If successful, he will have equaled Vlad in the lift, but he weighs a little bit more. So Vlad could have the advantage even if Dondik makes this. Dondik needs this to stay in the competition because remember, it's the overall that counts. And there you have it. Yuri Dondik of the Soviet Union lifting 413 1/4 pounds. He equals Vlad in the amount of weight lifted. Dondik pulling the weight. Very good technique. Gets directly underneath. Adjusts, gets his balance. Halfway through the competition, Vlad from Romania has a slight lead over Dondik of the Soviet Union, weighing 1 pound less, and having lifted the same weight, he's in the lead. Belayev of the Soviet Union in third, Petrov of Bulgaria in fourth, Rich Schutz of the United States in 11th, and Mike Cohen of the United States in 12th. We'll be back with more weightlifting action in the clean and jerk later on.
One of the more interesting things about weightlifting is their facial expressions while they focus, concentrate, and execute. In fact, faces tell a revealing story of Moscow citizens. Richard Blystone has several observations in a story earlier that we thought was worth looking at again.
One of the first things you notice here is the faces. Any time of day on the streets of Moscow, you get the idea that here is a nation chronically deprived of its morning coffee. Stern, forbidding faces that speak of hard times and distrust. The cliché Russian does exist. Are they imitating the expressions of the heroes on the posters, in the statues?
Try smiling them down. You could wind up with the same expression yourself.
But just when you're about to give up, the clouds roll by and the smiles come out. Catch the Russians with their families and their friends, and it's like summer busting out after 8 months of winter. And all the more welcome because you thought it wasn't possible.
No foreseeable political event is going to take the winter from the Russian faces. But then, well, maybe the children. Maybe the kids. For the Goodwill Games, I'm Richard Blystone.
Huge history final and 500 pages of text. It was way after dinner, and I was getting hungry.
Snickers satisfies you.
You eat a Snickers and you say, okay, now I can face the 17th century again. Snickers really takes care of the hungry.
Packed with peanuts, peanut butter nougat, caramel, and milk chocolate. Mmm.
Satisfies you.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
If I want something to tide me over, I go for Snickers every time.
Forging, fitting up, hand finishing. Exacting standards that say nothing is complete until it's right. One beer is brewed with these same values. Budweiser. The most expensive ingredients. Exclusive beechwood aging for a clean, crisp taste. Because this Bud's for you.
We'll return with more Turner Network Television Goodwill Games coverage after this from our local stations.
I still can't believe my family's moving back to the States.
You know, they say that if you kiss in front of this fountain, you always come back.
I'll really miss you, Carlo.
Saying goodbye is never easy, but saying hello is. With AT&T, 10 minutes to Italy can average just 71 cents a minute. Only AT&T keeps you this close anywhere in the world.
This girl packs a power punch, a real hot shot of whole wheat crunch. Nothing frilly, nothing sweet, slow burning fuel of good whole wheat. Hello, berries, join the team, fueling up to go. big boys.
The wardrobe for the talent of the Goodwill Games has been provided by the John White's companies.
We're backstage at National Coach David Riegert preparing his lifter, Yuri Dondik of the Soviet Union. Dondik was in second place, having tied Vlad of Romania in weight lift at 413 pounds. Dondik, however, weighed 1 pound more, and in weightlifting, body weight can become a factor. If two lifters lift the same weight, the lighter lifter wins. We're in the second half of the competition, the clean and jerk. And weightlifting competition is handled in an auction-like fashion. Weight is added progressively to the bar. Right now, 217.5 kilos awaits Dondik, 479.5 pounds. So your best lift in the snatch is added together with your best lift in the clean and jerk, and it's the total that determines the placing for the overall championships. You can see Dondik appearing quite serious and intense here. A lot on the line. So Yuri Dondik over the chalk box, pulling his thoughts together, opening with 217.5 kilograms, we should say 479.5 pounds. The belt that he's wearing around his midsection helps give some support, keeps the back warm, and perhaps more psychologically keeping him up for the big lift. There's David Riegert, the national coach, one of the greatest weightlifters of all time, in the red suit there in the middle. Riegert coaching Dondik. Dondik, an experienced weightlifter of 26 years of age. His father actually trains he and his brother, Yuri. Yuri pulls the weight up very easy open. He gets it up the rest of the way. He takes the lead. Dondik of the Soviet Union looking most impressive on his opening attempt. He's good for more.
With his opening clean and jerk of 479.5 pounds, Dondik has the best lift thus far. He is trailed by Bulgarian Ditlin Petrov. Peter Krakowski and Stefan Christoph are even further back. Our leader after the snatch competition, Niko Vlad, is yet to take his first attempt in the clean and jerk. He's slated to open at 490.5 pounds. Now we're looking at Peter Krakowski of Poland. This is his second attempt. 220 kilos, 485 pounds in the bar. Such an expression he has as he prepares to approach the barbell, doesn't he? Fidgeting. Peter's spending a great deal of time over the bar. He's pulling his thoughts together.
Look at that concentration. 485 pounds. Very strong in the clean. He gets up the rest of the way. He's making up some lost ground. Peter Krakowski of Poland looking very strong in the clean and jerk. This might be his lift. He's only 21 years old. We haven't seen much of him in international competition before. And here, he looks pleased with himself, doesn't he? He's got another attempt remaining. In weightlifting, of course, there are 3 attempts in each of the 2 lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk. Krakowski here pulling 485 pounds. Look at the bar bend. Stands up quite easily. At this point, concentrating, getting the lift overhead directly to arm's length, and then bringing the feet back in line. It's a matter of control. The Polish lifter making up some ground. Now, one of the 2 Bulgarians, Daidalos Petrov's, coming out for his second attempt, 220 kilograms. He was successful with 180 kilos, 396 pounds in the snatch. Petrov was in 4th going into the clean and jerk. Now, in weightlifting competition, the best lift in the snatch and the best lift in the clean and jerk are added together for the total. It is the total that determines the placement overall. Your best snatch and your best clean and jerk added together is what counts. Weightlifting, of course, is like an auction-like setting. Weight is only added progressively to the bar, never lowered. Vlad from Romania, our leader, up next. Bulgarian looking well-conditioned here. Training twice a day, as he says he loves to do, pays off. An easy lift in the jerk. He has a 3rd attempt remaining. And the Bulgarians are pushing the Soviets. Of course, Vlad, our favorite, is coming up soon. He's the man to watch. In the clean and jerk, 2-stage motion, getting the bar up to the shoulders. back and leg strength, most important. Called the king of lifts for good reason. This is what determines the champions. Getting the weight overhead quite easily. Another attempt remaining for the Bulgarian. One of two in this competition. Nico Vlad from Romania, our leader, coming in. This will be his first attempt in the clean and jerk. An extremely heavy start for him. 222.5 kilos. A most impressive start, 490.5 pounds. The Olympic gold medalist from Los Angeles in the 90-kilogram division has gained strength when he moved up to this new division. He also gained enormous amounts of confidence coming out of the Los Angeles Olympics. Vlad, quite personable. 1985 World Championships, he placed third, was ranked #1 in the world last year in this division. Dondik of the Soviet Union ranked #2, very close in the heels of Vlad right here in Izmailov Stadium. It's the concentration that appears to be separating Vlad from his competitors. He's a well-conditioned athlete. Looks rather thin for a weightlifter, doesn't he? Weighed in at about 218 pounds of body weight. And again, wearing the belt around the midsection keeps the back warm, and again, psychologically, gives you that little extra confidence that you have some support there. Vlad not wearing any knee wraps or wrist wraps. Ooh, very quick. 490.5 pounds overhead on his opening attempt. Nico Vlad takes the lead back in his first attempt.
So Vlad's opening clean and jerk gives him the top lift thus far. Looks confident, doesn't he? Remember, he's trailed by the two Bulgarians, Ditlan Petrov and Stefan Kristov, as well as Peter Krakowski from Poland. All of them, remember, clean and jerk 485 pounds. Ruslan Belayev, the Soviet favorite, has yet to take his opening attempt. Coming up, the final lifts.
Ruslan Belayev, Советский Союз, первый подход.
Outrageousness. Outrageousness. It's nothing more than a way to wake people up. Especially yourself.
Okay, so I'm not some macho football hero. I'm Sandra Bernhard, and I'm a woman. And I have a woman's needs.
Experience an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. Atra Plus. The Plus is the white Lubra-Smooth strip that releases lubricants as you shave. You never felt anything smoother. Atra Plus by Gillette, the essence of shaving.
If mistakes make you boiling mad, try the liquid paper line of correction fluids. Our solutions for handwritten mistakes, photocopies, even colored stationery can get you out of, well, almost any jam.
We'll return with more Turner Network Television Goodwill Games coverage after this from our local stations.
Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. Buy your copy at B. Dalton's, Walden Books, or wherever paperbacks are sold. A fresh look at today's problems.
Nothing makes your day like helping others make it on their own.
You bring out the pride we all feel inside.
That's going to be easy next week.
It's more than just a job you do. You make America work, and this buzz for you.
Good work.
Here's to you, Beechwood Aged, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This buzz for you.
And here we go. Belayev coming out for his second attempt. Same weight on the bar that he missed in his first attempt. 222.5 kilograms, 490.5 pounds. Now, Belayev was in third place in the snatch competition, so he needs this to push the leaders. Dondik, the other Soviet lifter, and Vlad, the Romanian, still our favorite, going into the home stretch of the clean and jerk. Again, weight is only added progressively to the bar. We're nearing 500 pounds. Belayev today weighing in about 218 pounds. more difficult than his first attempt. But the second half, the jerk, he's here. He makes it. Balayev of the Soviet Union putting some heat on Vlad from Romania. He's not giving up. You can see he's a little disappointed with himself. He wasted an attempt there. That could hurt when we come right down to the championship. Balayev pulling 490 pounds up to the shoulders. So the 24-year-old from Grozny pushes that weight overhead to arm's length. A better split this time. He had more confidence. The lift is good. Stefan Kristov of Bulgaria coming out, 225 kilos in the bar, 496 pounds. These Bulgarians are well known in the weightlifting circles for their twice-a-day workouts. They absolutely love it. Kristov concentrating at the edge of the platform. A whole weightlifting garb, shoes, knee wraps, belt, lifting uniform, all part of the unchanging uniform of the weightlifter. Man against iron. As Kristov goes here. A struggle in the cleans. Look at that determination. At the age of 18, Kristov's determined to make his mark. No, a false start. The referee will tell him to put it down. By the rules, he's going to continue. In spite of it all, Kristov doesn't want to give up. How do you like that spirit? Stefan Kristov says, I know the lift won't count, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Hey, look, he's been training 5 years, twice-a-day workouts. He's got to show you his stuff. Now, let's take a look. Adds a bit of levity to the audience here at Izmailovo Stadium. Now, look, a very difficult clean, which obviously took a lot out of his legs. Kristov not having the confidence. Watch, a false start. And at this point, the referee is saying down. That's an infraction by the rules of weightlifting. But look, Kristov says, I'm going to do it anyway. And he almost does, but it wouldn't have counted. You have to admire the spirit of the Bulgarian. Peter Krukowski of Poland coming out for his final attempt in the clean and jerk. 225 kilograms, 496 pounds. Krukowski weighed in at a light 94.8 kilos. Converts to about 210 pounds. So he's coming up to a weight here pretty close to 300 pounds over body weight. Krukowski frowning a great deal out here on the platform. That's his way of concentrating. The coach from Poland on the side. Now, weightlifting is a sport not only of strength, but of the mind as well. And the coach, again, on the sidelines, encouraging you, saying, go get it. Really helping out the source of motivation. Krukowski's looked very strong. Succeeded with 485 pounds. So let's see if 11 pounds more in the bar is within his reach today. No, just not there. Krukowski of Poland, successful with 485 pounds in the clean and jerk. That gives him a combined effort of 395 kilograms in the overall. That converts to 870 3/4 pounds. Krukowski of Poland finishing his tour in the Goodwill Games. 225 kilograms remaining on the bar. Yuri Dondik of the Soviet Union, who was successful with 187.5 kilograms in the snatch, 413 3/4 pounds, coming out for 496 pounds in the clean and jerk. This moves him into the lead for the time being. He's an international master of sport, lives in the Ukraine. Said he wasn't really nervous coming into this competition. Ranked 10th in the world last year, so he's really pushing the world leaders. Coach David Riegert said he had a very serious attitude about the Goodwill Games. He's trained long and hard. Dondik, who missed 496 pounds in his second attempt, still has difficulty with the jerk. On the replay, Dondik taking another look here. 496 pounds. He was pushing Vlad at the snatch portion of the lift, but here the clean and jerk, 496 pounds too much. And here's our favorite in the competition, Nico Vlad from Romania, Olympic gold medalist in the Los Angeles Olympics, coming out. Guess what's on the bar? 227.5 kilos. That converts to 501 pounds. If successful, we'll have our first lift over 500 pounds in the competition. Vlad weighed in about 218 pounds today. That's rosin he's putting on his feet. Therefore, his foot won't slip when he gets the weight overhead. The crowd here at Izmailovo Stadium showing respect, being quiet during this time as Vlad is concentrating, pulling his thoughts together, gathering the strength from within that's going to be necessary to lift this phenomenal amount of weight. 501 pounds in the bar. 501.5 to be precise. What an exciting performer Vlad has been here. In Los Angeles at the Olympics, only 3 super heavyweights outlifted him. Vlad actually outlifted the 100 kilo and 110 kilo lifters in Los Angeles, putting on a dazzling performance just as he is here at the Goodwill Games. Nico Vlad of Romania, looking determined. If successful, this will give him quite a lead over the Soviets. But no. The audience showing its appreciation, but that lift no good for Vlad. And look, he's disappointed. Vlad getting the weight a little bit in front. Remember, Belayev has another attempt remaining. So the Soviet and Romanian dueling it out for the championship in the 100-kilogram weight category. And here, Vlad with 501.5 pounds. He just gives up on the jerk.
So Nico Vlad and Ruslan Belayev have the best lifts in the clean and jerk, 490.5 pounds. With 3 lifters remaining, Vlad, Belayev, and Petrov all will be going for that 501.5 pounds for the win.
Diletin Petrov of Bulgaria has requested 227.5 kilograms, 501.5 pounds. If successful, he's guaranteed a medal here. And depending on the outcome of Belayev and Vlad's last attempts, he could be our champion. Everything on the line here for the Bulgarian. Petrov's only 23 years of age. Here he goes, 501.5 pounds. Looking determined. He too wants the championship. What a deep split. Oh, ever so close. The crowd showing its appreciation. Petrov, who last year lifted at 90-kilogram weight category, ranked 4th then, has moved up in weight. And with 501.5 pounds, comes awfully close. Now watch the jerk lift here. Takes a deep split. And the weight, courageous effort, very courageous all the way through. Now Ruslan Belayev of the Soviet Union has requested for his 3rd attempt, 227.5 kilos, 501.5 pounds. Truly dueling for the championship. Belayev, if successful, will push Petrov from Bulgaria down the list. Vlad has 1 attempt remaining. Belayev cleans the weight, 501.5 pounds. If successful, he moves ahead of his teammates. This could be our champion. Ruslan Belayev of the Soviet Union, lifting over 500 pounds in international competition here at the Goodwill Games. Fantastic lift.
And the Soviet delegation extremely happy with that performance. Belayev, of course, putting extreme pressure on the favorite, Nico Vlad from Romania. He has 1 attempt remaining, and backstage you hear some Belayev getting the congratulations from the coaches and the trainers. He's happy, saying that was a tough lift, coach, but I made it. 501.5 pounds for the Soviet. And the championship comes right down to this. Nico Vlad from Romania. We've been saying he's the favorite right through. Let's see what kind of stuff he's made of. The final lift for the championship. Strong clean. Oh, no, Vlad does not make it. He loses the championship to Belayev. What an upset in weightlifting. Vlad can't believe it. He had the winning lift overhead. Oh, such disappointment for the Olympic champion from Los Angeles. The clean actually quite strong. Vlad looking determined. Gets it on the shoulders okay, up to this point. And look, the weight just drops in front. He gives up. So here you see the results of the 100-kilogram weight competition with Belayev from the Soviet Union in upset over the Romanian Nico Vlad. The American entries, Mike Cohen and Rich Schutz, finished 11th and 12th in this tough division. So once again, we see the winner of the 100-kilogram division, Ruslan Belayev of the Soviet Union, lifting 501.5 pounds. For the weightlifting from Izmailovo Stadium, this is Doug Cooney saying so long for now.
Weightlifting has a wonderful basic appeal. Sure, it takes technique, but it takes raw power also. But with record lifts have come abuses. In weightlifting, there's a lot of illegal steroid use and the taking of growth hormones that evade detection methods. But the sport is finally taking what seems to be a serious posture about testing. Both athletes and coaches seem to want to clean up the sport. Here's more on the issue.
Realistically, drug use is used to this day by most athletes, realistically. In fact, most individuals who train at any level of competition, I'm talking about any sport, are involved in some use of non-recreational drugs.
The abuses may be truly widespread, but the athletes most frequently identified are weightlifters, whose feats of strength make them likely targets for investigation. Harvey Newton, a former weightlifter and executive director of the U.S. Weightlifting Federation, thinks that's unfair.
I think weightlifting has definitely been singled out as the main sport connected with drug abuse in terms of anabolic steroids. And I think it's unjust criticism. Weightlifting has problems, so do all the other Olympic sports in one form or another. So do many professional sports, as we all know.
The use of performance-related drugs has been widespread for many years. Anabolic steroids and other substances first came to light in the Eastern Bloc countries, where success in weightlifting and other power sports has become something of a nationalistic tradition.
So we have scientists trying to find better ways to enhance performance. We have governments trying to find better ways to get gold medals from a propaganda standpoint. Now, weightlifting is certainly a very high propaganda sport, especially behind the Iron Curtain. In this country, it's sort of a hobby rather than a full-fledged battle, as it is with the bloc countries.
But the problem is now one of international proportions. A recent survey among 198 amateur athletes revealed a dangerous and growing trend toward winning at any cost.
I said, if I had a drug that would make you win everything for the next 5 years, no matter what competition you entered, but one small catch, it would kill you at the end of the 5 years, would you take those drugs? And 52% said yes.
The cult of finishing first or not finishing at all has created an atmosphere where drug abuse may be necessary just to keep up. As a result, illegal growth drugs have become big business, and getting a hold of them is as easy as ordering from a catalog. All of this contributes to an expensive spiral in which the increasing sophistication of the drug test is matched and sometimes bettered by the ingenuity of the athletes.
One of the problems is that the labs around the world, which are approved by the IOC, evidently do not necessarily call the same positive a positive.
The testing is very legitimate. Athletes have known since '83 how to get around a mass spectrometer test, and that's what they're doing now.
Growth drugs have penetrated all levels of sport, but ironically, it may be weightlifting that leads the way toward cleaning up the drug problem.
The International Weightlifting Federation is seriously toying with the idea of modifying the weight classes. A couple of reasons being given, but realistically the most sensible is that perhaps it's an acknowledgement that world records have gone so far that they can't be matched again if we're going to have drug controls that are accurate.
Kibbles and bits and bits and bits. I long for my kibbles. I long for my bits. For my kibbles and bits and bits and bits. I long and I long for my kibbles and bits and bits and bits.
Kibbles and bits and bits and bits. More crunchy bits, more chewy bits. More different kinds of bits than any leading dry dog food.
Oh, how I long for more kibbles and bits and bits and bits. So long. So long.
Nothing escapes the eye of Maxim.
The world's first SLR with built-in autofocus, Minolta Maxim focuses by itself. Sharp, fast. Only the human eye focuses faster. With Minolta Maxim, you even get unexpected shots that would have gotten away. The incredible Maxim system.
Only from the mind of Minolta. We'll return with more Turner Network Television Goodwill Games coverage after this from our local stations.
The measure of a champion. It's not just a matter of inches, but a matter of degree. It's the determination to give that extra margin of performance that results in being the best. We know. We're the Champion Spark Plug Company, and we prove that Champion Copper Plus is America's best. It delivers that extra margin of performance that's the hallmark of a true champion. Copper Plus, America's best spark plug.
This is the Fuller family. The Fullers have just filled full with 4 fried foods, and this is the fullest the Fullers have ever felt, folks. Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Alka-Seltzer fights your acid indigestion and fixes your headache in a flash. Send Alka-Seltzer to the rescue and feel your finest fast.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
Also try flavored Alka-Seltzer with a sparkling fresh taste of lemon lime.
Here at Izmailova Stadium, it was an exciting competition in the 110-kilo weight category, 242 pounds. And yes, Yuri Zakharevich made a fantastic comeback to win this truly international competition with an exciting performance. Earlier, we had a chance to watch the American weightlifter Ken Clark in this division. Ken, a 30-year-old native of California, has been training 13 years, 4-time national champion, coming out for his final attempt in the clean and jerk with 418 3/4 pounds. Showing tremendous spirit and courage here at the Goodwill Games, Ken actually moved up a weight category to participate here in Moscow. Securing his grip. Here he goes. It's a good clean for Ken. As he struggles, the weight proved too heavy on this occasion. Ken Clark of the United States giving a good showing. His best lifts of 319.5 pounds in the snatch, combined with his best clean and jerk of 413 1/4 pounds, give him a combined total of 733 pounds. That placed him 8th overall. The best finish of the American weightlifting team in the Goodwill Games thus far. So Yuri Zakharevich continues to amaze the weightlifting world with his comeback from an elbow dislocation just 3 years ago. As expected, he won the snatch portion of the competition with a superb effort with this weight of 413 1/4 pounds. The charismatic Soviet superstar continues to dazzle and entertain the weightlifting audience here in Moscow. It's almost as if Zakharevich has encouraged gravity to take a vacation. Remember, he even passed in his 3rd attempt, displaying no fear for the competition or the bar. So Zakharevich winning the snatch competition on his 2nd attempt with 413 1/4 pounds. That gave him a 5-kilo lead going into the clean and jerk. The number 2 man in the competition in the snatch portion is Anton Vanacek from Czechoslovakia. He's been competing for 10 years, and at the age of 35, he's somewhat the elder statesman of the sport. Vanacek impressed both his coaches and the audience here at the Goodwill Games in Moscow, succeeding with this effort of 402 1/4 pounds. The 7-time Czechoslovakian champion takes it a year at a time, he said. Looks like he's good for more. Halfway through the competition, he's the number 2 man behind Yuri Zakharevich. Our 3rd place finisher in the snatch competition was 1984 Olympic gold medalist in Los Angeles, Norberto Oberberger from Italy. Somewhat a surprise as he pushed the Eastern Europeans in a sport that they completely dominate. Here, lifting a successful attempt with 391 1/4 pounds. That lift 160 pounds over body weight for the 4-time national Italian champion. So it was 1, 2, 3, Zakharevich, Baranek, and Oberberger taking the medals in the snatch. As we hit the home stretch of the clean and jerk, the order never changed. Zakharevich, who often says he enjoys competing against the bar as well as his competition, came out for his final attempt in the clean and jerk. And here's how I called it earlier.
So the popular Yuri Zakharevich from the Soviet Union comes out once again on the bar, 230 kilos. We've broken the 500-pound barrier. On the bar, 507 pounds. Zakharevich goes right to work. Test the bar to make sure that it rotates okay. Zakharevich, ever so popular. This is only his second attempt. They're the coaches. On the right, David Riegert, the great Soviet national coach. He's a source of inspiration for these lifters. Zakharevich, having wrapped up first place, already has a total of 412.5 kilos. If successful, this moves him up to 417.5 in the total. Hardly took a split in the jerk. Look at him smile for the audience. The lift is good. Yuri Zakharevich playing to the hometown crowd of Moscow. Look at this. Lifting quite easily, 507 pounds. And the crowd likes him. One of the greatest weightlifters of all time. In a course of 2 years, he set 26 world records before that injury back in 1983. Fantastic comeback this fellow's had. Listen to the crowd.
A fantastic finish for the Soviet weightlifter in front of the crowd of 5,000 here at Izmailovo Stadium. And there you see the final standings. Zakharevich clearly the star of the day. Baranek and Oberberger capturing the silver and bronze medals. Ken Clark of the United States finishing 8th. A final look at our winners of the heavyweight division. From Izmailovo Stadium, site of the weightlifting competition for the Goodwill Games, this is Doug Cooney saying so long.
These are the amazing Lee press-on nails. They press on in seconds. No glue and no mess. Simply press on Lee Super Stick tabs, peel off the backing, then press on Lee press-on nails. That's all. Easy on, easy off. Everything you need in one package for beautiful nails in a twinkling. Each package comes with 20 nails in a variety of sizes for a quick, easy fit. Press on for any pressing engagement. Use them again and again. Lee press-on nails just won't break or split. Apply your favorite polish. You'll find they're almost impossible to chip. So press on. Lee press-on nails. In natural length for lovely nails anytime. And glamour length for times when you want longer, beautiful nails. And now there's Lee press-on nails to go. Everything you need in this handy designer carry kit. Lee press-on nails to go.
We'll return with more Turner Network Television Goodwill Games coverage after this from our local stations.
You're growing, America, and so are your copying needs. That's why Konicka's Royal Copiers are built tough, with all the features you demand for future growth. Zoom magnification reduction, double-sided copying, electronic editing, and more. For challenges as big as tomorrow, Konica offers a complete line of rugged Royal Copiers backed by nationwide service. You demand productivity. With Konicka's Royal Copiers, you get it. Tough customers, tough copiers.
Choose softer. Choose moister. Introducing new Softer Moister Beech Nut.
Just chew it. You know it's softer. Just put it in your mouth, and you know it's moister.
New Softer Moister Beech Nut.
I like it softer. I like it moister. Softer.
And you'll like it, because it still has that famous just right balanced taste. New Softer Moister Beech Nut. Balanced and better.
Says softer. Says moister. Says...
Portions of the 1986 Goodwill Games are brought to you by Honda Scooters, the only way to wake yourself up.
If you think those weightlifters were big, wait till you see the super heavyweights. They're up next. But first this. Leroy Neiman's been with us here in the Soviet Union for much of the Goodwill Games. The famous artist's been to both the well-known and the obscure places around town, yet always finds something worth painting about. Today, Leroy takes his sketch pad to one of the most famous places on Earth. Let's go to Red Square through the eyes of the artist. An artful combination of delicacy and strength. On the subject of power, let's go back to weightlifting.
We're at Izmailovo Sports Stadium, site of the weightlifting competition for the Goodwill Games. This beautiful facility was built for the 1980 Olympics, specifically weightlifting. Hello everyone, I'm Doug Cooney, and it's super heavyweight competition we have coming up, and it's appropriate that the Soviets are going to be dominating this competition as they have this division for the past 2 decades. Certainly with Alexyev in the 70s and Pizarenko in the early 80s, but now they've made way for 2 more Soviets. Alexander Gunyashev, world record holder in the snatch and the total, he's here, and he's going to be challenged by his teammate, Leonid Taranenko, who won the gold medal right here 6 years ago in the heavyweight division. Taranenko has moved up in body weight and will challenge his teammate as he unofficially broke the world record in the total just 1 month ago. 2 Americans will be participating as well, Rick Eaton and John Bergman. There are, of course, 2 events in weightlifting, the snatch and the clean and jerk. The current world record in the clean and jerk, 584 pounds. Earlier, I had a chance to give you a sense of perspective of how heavy that might be. One of the difficulties for us in television to get through to you at home is how heavy is. On the bar, the current world record in the super heavyweight division in the clean and jerk, 584 pounds. I'm going to give it a shot. Well, I guess jet lag might have taken a little bit more out of me than I thought. Let me call in some help. Bob Lanning, our producer. Yesterday, we took a tour of the Kremlin. Bob, let's see if that exercise helped. Well, maybe we better call for some help. Yeah. Sam? Okay, 4 of us are now going to attempt to lift 584 pounds. Guys? 2, 3. A good job. It took 4 guys to lift the world record of 584 pounds, but we didn't lift it overhead. Maybe we ought to stick to tours of the Kremlin? Yeah.
It's almost unbelievable, isn't it, that one person has lifted that much weight overhead? Well, by the way, our group, after trying that world record, got together, decided that we would stick to tours of Moscow, so I booked one for tomorrow, guys. Here is, however, John Bergman of the United States, a weightlifter who has a much more realistic chance of someday tackling a world record. This is his 3rd attempt in the snatch competition, 172.5 kilograms, 380 pounds in the bar. If successful, this will be 7.5 kilos, more than John was successful with at the Nationals, so he's in tremendous shape here. He was successful with his first 2 attempts in the snatch at 352. That converts to 160 kilos. And his second attempt, 167.5 kilos, or 369.25 pounds. So John is going for 3 for 3 in the snatch. Remember, in weightlifting competition, you're allowed 3 attempts in each of the 2 lifts. This is the first half of competition, the snatch. Later on, we'll see the clean and jerk, where more weight is actually lifted. Here goes Bergman on his 3rd attempt. 380 pounds directly overhead for the American weightlifter. He ends it up with a smile. Good lift for John Bergman. The referees say good lift. In weightlifting competition, there are 3 referees, and at least 2 of the 3 must say the lift is good in order for it to count towards your total. And that's what it's really about. John Bergman quite happy with himself, and he should be. Very fine showing for the American weightlifter. Taking another look at it. John weighed in today at 280 pounds, so this lift 100 pounds over body weight. Very strong, isn't he? A good lift for the American weightlifter. Backstage, Valentin Guriev from Bulgaria, preparing for his third attempt. 180 kilos is what he's called for, 396 3/4 pounds. In the warm-up area, the coach giving the lifter a lot of support emotionally as well as physically, saying you're strong, you're looking strong, or make this adjustment. More is a source of inspiration than anything else at this point in time, because it comes right down to this. Again, as he walks by the name clock, where you see the weight posted and the clock, 3 minutes when you follow yourself, 2 minutes if you follow another weightlifter. You see the belt that he wears. Not all the weightlifters elect to use that in the snatch. Sometimes they hit it, the midsection, that is, as they go by with the bar. You see the wrist wraps and the knee wraps, part of that weightlifting garb to help the joints stay warm. Again, physically, this is an awesome task. 396 3/4 pounds in the bar. Guriev weighed in today at 242 3/4 pounds, so he's our lightest super heavyweight. Actually moved up from the heavyweight division here. But no, on this occasion, 396 3/4 pounds, too heavy for the Bulgarian. He's credited with 175 kilos, 385 pounds. Again, the best snatch and the best clean and jerk are added together for the total. It's the overall that counts. And here Guriev pulls using a lot of back. You see him get it underneath the barbell, but look, the weight has momentum. He just can't hold it. Therefore, it pushes him back. Coming out for his third attempt in the snatch competition, Robert Skolimowski. He's requested 180 kilos, 396 3/4 pounds in the bar. And here you see the coach attending to him, wiping off the sweat. Again, those words of inspiration. This is a long walk for a weightlifter when you come from behind the warm-up area and you see the crowd for the first time. It gives you a chill. Then you step on the platform and then you start to get excited. You start to think, this is where I'm going to make it happen. Look at that, about 5,000 spectators here at Izolovo Stadium. And there the clock, you see 117, 116, 115. The lifter must get the bar off the platform by the time it reaches zero. Helps keep the pace at these weightlifting competitions. Skolimowski pacing back and forth. Now, he's not wearing a belt, but he is wearing knee wraps. There's the traditional weightlifting uniform and the weightlifting shoes, specifically made for weightlifting. Skolimowski pulling his thoughts together, thinking about what he wants to do, and then pulling. Keeping the joints warm is very important in this sport when you're lifting this much weight. Remember, it all happens in a fraction of a second. Skolimowski, native of Warsaw, Poland. Been training a number of years. Loves the sport. Said, I don't think I can ever give it up. One of the more outgoing super heavyweights that we've seen here at this competition. Here he goes. Skolimowski, no, ever so close. He's not too happy with himself. He knows he should have had that. So Skolimowski credited with 177.5 kilos as he goes into the first half of the competition of the snatch. Here, Skolimowski pulling 396 pounds directly overhead. He's okay at this point, but look, the weight's in front, and he tries chasing it, and it's just too far in front. He has to let it go. An error in technique. Alexander Gunyashev, the current world record holder in the snatch, coming out for his first attempt. An almost unbelievable 192.5 kilograms, 424.25 pounds. 26-year-old Soviet, coached by the great David Riegert. Alexander said, I've always respected David Riegert ever since I was a child, and by him becoming my coach, my life has improved tremendously. Such a role model, Riegert has played for the whole Soviet squad here over the past decade. Gunyashev weighing in 285.5 pounds. There you see Riegert, the bright red uniform. Almost looks a little more nervous than his lifter, perhaps. It's a tough role for the coach because it's all up to the weightlifter at this point in time. Gunyashev should make this. Again, securing that grip. Again, you take your best lift in the snatch, add it together with your best lift in the clean and jerk. It's the total that counts, the overall. Gunyashev needs this to push his teammate, and yes. Oh, yes. Ever so confident on his first attempt. Alexander Gunyashev of the Soviet Union taking the lead. And the crowd likes that one. Gunyashev, an Army officer, obviously likes to read, but here he's concentrating on getting an amazing amount of weight overhead, 192.5 kilos, 424.25 pounds, and he takes his time, rather deliberate with that one. So right now, halfway through the snatch competition, it's Gunyashev, Skolomovsky, Gurov, and Bergman. Coming up will be the favorite for the overall, Soviet super heavyweight Leonid Taranenko.
New confidence. New confidence sure. Curved. Curved comfort. Curved comfortable sure. Wide. Wide solid. New wide solid sure. Curved. Dry. Confident. Sure. New sure wide solid. One more solid way to feel sure.
Rise and shine, cast your line, catch the limit here. Now you're talking fishing, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
We'll return with more Turner Network Television Goodwill Games coverage after this from our local stations.
To unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Solaflex. 24 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance. All on a simple machine that fits in the corner of your home. For a free brochure, call anytime, 1-800-453-9000.
Big boys got what it takes. Slow-burning fuel of whole wheat flakes. Nothing halfway, nothing sweet, just the staying power of good whole wheat. Yeah, hey, bananas, join the team. Fueling up to go full steam. Wheaties, Wheaties, good whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
We're back for the weightlifting competition of the super heavyweight division here at Izmailovo Stadium. You're looking at Leonid Taranenko, the favorite in the overall, coming out for his first attempt at 202.5 kilos, 446 pounds. Right now, Gunyashev of the Soviet Union has the lead. He succeeded with 200 kilos on his second attempt, 440.75 pounds. So here the other Soviet entry in this class, Taranenko, is attempting to put some heat on his teammate. Quite a rivalry we have going for the overall. Remember, Taranenko unofficially broke the world record total just a month ago. Gunyashev currently holds the world record total officially. A duel of the super heavyweights from the Soviet Union. Exciting weightlifting competition coming your way. Taranenko, the Olympic gold medalist from the 1980 Olympics, won it right on this platform 6 years ago. But there he lifted as a heavyweight. He's since put on 50 pounds of body weight. Weighed in at 294.5 pounds and ever so strong. Leonid Taranenko showing us what it's all about in the sport of weightlifting. A very proud man he is, serious by demeanor without question. And the crowd here at Izmailovo loving what they're seeing. The two countrymen from the Soviet Union dueling it out. Take another look at Taranenko, pulling with everything he has, 446 pounds in the bar, explodes with it overhead. Tremendous flexibility Taranenko displaying. Continuing looking up, ready to steady himself, and the referee says put it down. And here, Alexander Gunyashev responding. trying to psych himself up. He's taking for a final attempt 205 kilos, 451 and 3/4 pounds. If successful, this puts him back in the lead. Remember, however, Taranenko has 2 attempts remaining in the snatch competition. In weightlifting, you're allowed 3 attempts in each of the 2 lifts. This will be the 3rd attempt for Gunyashev. He weighed in at 285.5 pounds. Taranenko, 294.5 pounds. Most of the super heavyweights we're seeing these days weigh less than 300 pounds in body weight, quite unlike the days of Alexyev, when one weighed 340 or 350 pounds in body weight. It's just not efficient. But this will certainly be a tremendous lift for Taranenko. The crowd here showing tremendous respect by being quiet. Look at that concentration. Gunyashev looking quite good, making 2 attempts in the snatch thus far. He's taken a jump of 11 pounds over his last success. His only problem appearing to be balance, and there, David Rieger, his coach, looking on, quite concerned for his student of weightlifting. We're just 6 kilos away from the world record in this lift. That's the quality of the competition we're seeing here in the super heavyweight division. There's Gunyashev. No. The weight just too much for his mind on this occasion. Just gave up. So he's credited with 200 kilos, 440 and 3/4 pounds. That opens the door for Taranenko to even gather more momentum. Now, Taranenko's goal here will not only be to gain a further lead as we go into the clean and jerk, but we may see a call for a world record as well. There's persistent rumors in the weightlifting hall that he'll be calling for a new world record on his 2nd attempt. And yes, the scoreboard flashes 211.5 kilos. So as we look for Taranenko to tackle a world record attempt here, he currently leads with a lift of 202.5 kilos. Gunyashev of the Soviet Union in 2nd with 200. Skolomoski from Poland in 3rd with 177.5 kilos. Without question, it's up to Taranenko now. Moving up to the super heavyweight category. For 4 years, he was quite competitive in the 110 kilo class. Now with 50 pounds of body weight, he looks tremendously strong. Graduated from the Minsk Agricultural Institute, began weightlifting back in 1970. So he's been training 16 years. Placed 4th in the 1985 World Championships when he was getting used to his new body weight. Placed 2nd at the European Championships this year. So he continues to improve on the international scene in the new weight category that he's chosen. If successful, he'll have lifted more weight in the snatch than any other human ever at any body weight. Here he goes. Taranenko, a new world record to arm's length, and then he loses it behind ever so close. Ooh, you can hear the sighs of disappointment. Taranenko actually overpowered the bar. Remember, he has a 3rd attempt remaining. 465.25 pounds. Taking another look at it, Leonid Taranenko jumps back. A slight error in technique, but look, he pulls it high enough, but the bar has momentum at this point. He almost overpowers it, makes a slight adjustment, tremendous flexibility, almost like gymnastics with weights, isn't it? But the weight this time too far behind. He had to let it go. But here he comes again for his 3rd attempt in the snatch competition. On the bar, 211.5 kilograms, 465.25 pounds for the 285-pound Soviet weightlifter. He wants this. Again, more weight than has ever been lifted in this event in the world at any weight category. This will be the absolute all-time best lift. Taranenko psyching up, gathering the thoughts from within that are going to be necessary to lift this phenomenal amount of weight. Ooh, a lot of intensity there. He's thinking about what he wants to do and makes it happen. The weightlifters say it's like watching a motion picture. Here we go, Taranenko trying the world record again. Let's watch. Weight's arm's length, no. This time he overcompensated. The weight came down in front. Leonid Taranenko in the lead halfway through the competition. There you see the snatch results. Taranenko in first place, Gunyashev second, Skolomovsky in third, Bergman of the United States in fifth. We'll be back later on with the clean and jerk.
Turner Network Television Goodwill Games coverage continues after this short break. Tonight, the Goodwill Games conclude with a dream matchup under the hoop. David Robinson leads Team USA against Arvydas Sabonis and the undefeated Soviet squad when they battle for the gold medal at the World Basketball Championships. The Goodwill Games.
Hi, I'm Jerry Mathers.
And I'm Tony Dow. We sure hope you're enjoying the Goodwill Games as much as we are.
And we're looking forward to having you join us for all new episodes of the new Leave It to Beaver.
Mondays and Sundays on WTBS, America's Superstation.
Hey, that's mine.
We're back at Izmailovo Stadium for the weightlifting competition. There you see American John Bergman getting ready for his lift. John grew up outside of San Francisco with a poster of renowned Soviet weightlifter David Riegert over his bed. Riegert, you might say, served as kind of a mentor for this young American weightlifter. Bergman started lifting actually by accident when a football injury forced him into the weight room. Let's meet him in our Goodwill profile.
I find that in public, people do have a generalized idea of what a weightlifter should be. You know, big, oafish, mean. There's nothing further from the truth. Stupid. Thank you. Nothing further from the truth. Those are the typical Joe Gym lifters, you know. But when you get to the elite class lifter or national caliber, you know, generally very articulate, college educated gentlemen.
John's really kind of I'd have to say, an oddball. He's got the body of a world-class athlete and the mind of a physicist. You know, he's extremely smart, and the two things don't go together. You don't see, it's not very common. And the type of personality he has compared to the athletic ability that he has. And it's really an interesting combination, to say the least.
Bach sounds great on electric guitar.
Really?
Yeah, it really does, with a lot of feedback. Oh, you sit in front of the speaker and have it blow your hair back. It's great. The spirit of weightlifting is literally tearing the body apart and then giving it a rest and letting it rebuild itself, only to tear it apart again. And that involves an incredible amount of pain. So you just learn to deal with pain on a day-to-day basis. It becomes part of your life. No amount of aspirin will help. There's just nothing more fun to me than being strong. I love to lift weights. I love that feeling of having the weight overhead, of just pulling on it and just feeling the weight and just defeating gravity. That's the greatest feeling in the world. I've wanted to fly forever. It's been on the top of my list of things to do since day one. I went flying when I was 7 years old with my grandfather in a small plane. And I thought, I've got to do more of this. And it's been just a fantasy of mine since then.
Well, you're always fighting gravity.
Right, gravity. I love to overcome gravity.
John was only one of 3 American weightlifters to qualify for the 1986 World Championships. At the United States National Championships just 2 months ago, he took top honors in the super heavyweight weight class. And here you see him coming out for his third attempt in the clean and jerk, 200 kilos, 440 3/4 pounds. John missed this weight on his second attempt, so he'll be repeating himself. He was successful with a lift of 429 1/4 pounds on his opening lift. John putting some rosin on his feet, pacing back and forth, giving a contemptuous look at the bar. John, just 5 weeks ago, before the Goodwill Games, had a rough landing with a single-seat plane that he brought in for a landing. Ended up bending the propeller, but fortunately his body parts are in good shape because he'll need it for this tremendous weight. A personable, likable guy, John Bergman. Pulling those thoughts together. Crowd at Izmailovo Stadium giving him a warm welcome. They really want this guy to do well. John Bergman of the United States. No, 440 3/4 pounds, too heavy. But his combined effort of 367.5 kilos gives him a good effort in the overall. That total 810 pounds, the combined lifts of the snatch and the clean and jerk. Coming up, more of the clean and jerk. And remember, we haven't even seen Alexander Gunyashev and Leonid Taranenko of the Soviet Union begin. Heavyweights coming up right after this.
For all those performance cars that want to keep performing even in wet, sloppy weather, Goodyear introduces the Eagle GT Plus 4. High performance and all-weather performance in one remarkable tire. The Eagle GT Plus 4. The performance won't be canceled by the weather. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them.
Ace is a place for savings with our July best buys. Like this Spartus travel alarm clock. It's only $1.99 with the rebate. Or this Intermatic 24-hour lamp and appliance timer. It's only $3.66 with the rebate. And this ever-ready heavy-duty floating lantern. Best Buy priced at only $4.47. Look for these Ace Best Buys and lots more in our July Building of America circular. And you can use the Ace credit card. Ace is a place with a helpful hardware woman.
Big boy's got what it takes. Slow burning fuel of whole wheat flakes. Nothing halfway, nothing sweet, just the staying power of good whole wheat. Yeah, hey bananas, join the team, fueling up to go full steam. Wheaties, Wheaties, good whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
No other taste attracts so much attention. Diet Pepsi, you gotta be the most refreshingest invention. See that smile, see that look. Diet Pepsi is all it took. Diet Pepsi, have I mentioned? You gotta be the most refreshing invention. No other taste attracts so much attention.
Tonight, the Goodwill Games conclude with a dream matchup under the hoop. David Robinson leads Team USA against Arvydas Sabonis and the undefeated Soviet squad when they battle for the gold medal at the World Basketball Championships. Turner Network Television proudly presents the Goodwill Games.
We have the ability to go live to wherever news is happening, and we'll do a lot to get to that news story.
Back in the clean and jerk competition, super heavyweight division, Robert Skolomoski from Poland coming out for his third attempt. 220 kilos in the bar, 485 pounds. Robert missed this on his second attempt. His opening attempt of 210 kilograms, 462 pounds, successful. If he makes this lift, he will move ahead of Gurov from Bulgaria. So a very important lift for the five-time national champion from Poland. Robert looking very strong today, but not having the best technique. He's had problems with his cleans, getting it up to the shoulders. Remember, Gurov from Bulgaria has a third attempt remaining. The two Soviets Leonid Taranenko and Alexander Gunyashev have yet to begin. Skolomovsky, very strong. £485 in the bar. Let's see if he can make the correction in technique. A better clean this time. Skolomovsky lifting more on strength and technique, gets the bar directly overhead, and the audience likes that one. A little bit of sunlight. Perhaps that's what he needed to help him make the correction. That gives him a combined effort of 397.5 kilos in the overall. Remember, your best snatch and best clean and jerk are added together for the total. In pounds, 876.25 pounds in the combined effort. Here's Skolomovsky pulling 485 pounds, very high, higher than he had to. Better lift this time. At this point, getting set to jerk the weight overhead directly to arm's length. Demonstrating control for the referees. Robert Skolomovsky from Poland. You're looking at Alexander Gunyashev of the Soviet Union coming out for his first attempt. David Riegert, his coach, saying, take your time, Alexander. On the bar, 235 kilos, 518 pounds. Gunyashev getting a warm welcome from the crowd at Izmailovo Stadium. Looking quite serious. Almost looks a little concerned. You see the tape on the thumbs. That helps when he secures the grip. His teammate, Leonid Taranenko, has yet to begin. So we have quite a duel of the Soviet super heavyweights here. This is a very big lift. See the clock ticking down, minute 22, minute 21. Gunyashev pacing back and forth. There, David Riegert, the national coach, one of the greatest weightlifters of all time. Gunyashev said it, when I became the trained with David Riegert, my life improved tremendously. Gunyashev likes to read, especially history. Credits fishing with the relaxation necessary to pull your thoughts together. Has set 6 world records, has competed for 12 years. Placed second at the 1985 World Championships. Weighed in today at 285.5 pounds. First attempt. 518 pounds. Strong clean. Alexander Gunyashev having some difficulty. It's a problem. It wobbles, but he holds on. Gives him thus far a combined effort of 410 kilos. Amazing weightlifting we're seeing here. 903.75 pounds in the overall. Alexander Gunyashev looking concerned. David Riegert, his coach, saying we have to play tactics. Here we go. Gunyashev pulling the weight very high. Again, lifting more in strength and technique with that lift. He did. Now watch as he puts the weight overhead and had some difficulty right here. His arms almost unlock. A slight quiver, but he held on. It was a good lift. Alexander Gunyashev of the Soviet Union coming out for his second attempt. 242.5 kilos. Comes out to 534.5 pounds. Gunyashev, quite a serious weightlifter. He's an international class master of sport. Lives in Tagarong. A student at the Rostovsky Pedagogic Institute. He's been a member of the national squad since 1982. Look at that thought process. Look at him approach the bar. Very serious demeanor. The knee wraps, of course, help the knees support, keep them warm. If successful, this will give Gunyashev a combined effort of 442.5 kilos, 975.5 in the overall. This is his second attempt. Here he goes. So Alexander Gunyashev gets the weight up to the shoulders with some difficulty. No. It looked like a difficult clean, just took too much out of him. You can see he's disappointed with himself. He has another attempt remaining. Leonid Taranenko, the other Soviet super heavyweight, hasn't even begun yet. So this puts Gunyashev in quite a difficult position. Here he goes. 242.5 kilos, gets it up high enough, but back on his heels. Not the best receiving position. Had to take a step forward, and that took too much out of him. As here, he just couldn't get the weight up high enough, and he came down in front. Not the best receiving position. And here we have the leader of the snatch competition coming out for his first attempt in the clean and jerk. If successful, Leon Taranenko could win it right here. 245 kilograms in the bar, 540 pounds. The 30-year-old weightlifter, merited master of sport, lives in Minsk. Very powerful, strong weightlifter. Again, the belt shifting back and forth. He wants this. Taranenko, a proud Olympic champion, 6 years ago, right in the same stadium in the heavyweight class. He's gained weight, weighed in at 294.5 pounds. Here he goes. Shaking at the top. And punches it overhead quite easily. Leonid Taranenko wins the super heavyweight division of the Goodwill game on his first attempt in the clean and jerk. That's confident. And here, Taranenko quite pleased with himself. Not displaying a great deal of emotion, but he's happy. He wants to go for more. 245 kilograms, 540 pounds for the Soviet super heavyweight. Adjusting the weight on the shoulders. Taranenko punches it overhead. Very strong, driving with the legs. Alexander Gunyashev, the only chance to dethrone Taranenko from the championship is this lift. 247.5 kilograms, 545.5 pounds. Tremendous competition in the super heavyweight division that we're seeing here. Now, Gunyashev weighed less than Taranenko. Gunyashev weighed in at 285.5 pounds. Taranenko weighed in at 294.5 pounds. And in weightlifting, of course, if two weightlifters total the same weight, the one with the lighter body weight wins. So Gunyashev could take the lead for the time being with this lift. Taranenko has 2 attempts remaining. Could come right down to the final lift. Let's watch. Gunyashev making a nice recovery, having all kinds of problems. Look at him shake. Oh, just too much. But you have to give him credit. 545.5 pounds in the bar. The Soviet gave it his best effort. Alexander Gunyashev acknowledging his competitor, Leonid Taranenko, a little bit more fit today. Ever so close. And here you can see the clean just took too much out of him. 545.5 pounds. Alexander Gunyashev getting the bar up to the shoulders, standing up, but here, having problems adjusting, quivering, shaking. You can see he just has to let it go. So there you see our winner, Leonid Taranenko, who's decided not to take his final attempts in the clean and jerk, having won it on his opening attempt. Our winner,
Settle from Austria, said, "I would love to place the Izmailova Sports Palace with all its premises on wheels and send it as an original exhibition to other countries for them to see the ideal organization of the competitions." All the leading arbiters of the International Federation took part in judging the competitions in Moscow. Conditions were also ideal for journalists, newsreel cameramen and photographers, radio and TV newscasters. During the competitions, the International Weightlifting Federation celebrated the birthday of its president, Gottfried Schedel. Presents from the Olympics for his birthday. Even the traditional rituals of preparing for the competitions were held differently in Moscow. Here is how lots were drawn. Each souvenir has a number showing the order in which the sportsman is to appear on the arena. The number is entered in the protocol, and the sportsman keeps the souvenir. The sportsmen are weighed on new electronic scales during the anti-doping control. "172 athletes from 39 countries took part in the exciting and difficult competitions for the 10 gold Olympic medals. The Olympic bar is not easy to defeat, for it is proud and temperamental. It surrenders not only to the strongest, but to those who have determination and willpower, who are capable of concentrating on victory. And the competition showed that not all the favorites were able to do this. Sport, after all, is sport. There are dramatic, at times even tragic situations. In this film, we intentionally avoided showing the duels as ordinary competitions. We will not even name the champions. We want to show the spirit of the competitions, the spirit of the struggle, man's uncompromising battle with gravity. In order to imagine what takes place on the arena, it is not necessary to look in that direction all the time. It may be more interesting to watch the faces of the coaches. They are often called co-authors of records, and at times the athletes even give their medals to their teachers. Separate the Olympics. They lifted thousands of tons of metal during the years of training, and all for those few happy, tense moments of Olympic victory, the most sought after and difficult victory in sports. They say that you cannot jump over yourself. To win at the Olympics, the strong men had to lift 2 or 3 times their own weight. That is the weight of Olympic gold. Of the best celebrated their victory in the Izmailova Sports Palace. They set 108 national records, 18 of them bettering world records, the best results ever seen at any previous Olympic Games. At the 21st Games in Montreal, the gold was divided between Soviet and Bulgarian weightlifters. In Moscow, they were joined by weightlifters from Cuba, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia, and many of the results were world records. 10 days, the Izmailova Hall resounded with the clang of metal, applause, and cheers. And many of those watching felt almost as though they themselves were taking part in the competitions. Olympics are now history, and no one can say that their organization was not first class. And the athletes saluting the organizers enriched sport with many outstanding records and achievements. Leaving hospitable Moscow, the sportsmen from many continents said, "Thank you, Russian capital." Till we meet again on the sports arenas of the world, on peaceful sports arenas.
Возвращайся в свой сказочный лес. До свидания, Москва, до свидания, олимпийская сказка, прощай. Пожелать исполнения желаний мой ты.
In Bulgaria, selection of volunteers for weightlifting addresses boys of about 11 to 12 years of age. In the course of 2 years, 80% of the coaching time aims at improving the children's health and fit and at developing their physical abilities. Within the system of training, Bulgarian weightlifters, this is the stage of preliminary coaching. This is the time when interest, to begin with, and later love for sport are cultivated. The choice of exercises and their game-like character is not accidental. Depending on age characteristics, the organization of exercises is such as to arouse positive emotions and to attract youths to this manly sport. Besides the sporting games, jumps, coordination exercises, wooden sticks and medical balls are also widely in use. The competitive element brought in by relay races and the opportunity to compare abilities emphasize the functional and psychological effect. It is thus that, on the one hand, all-round development of the youth's constitution is achieved, and, on the other, the most important abilities necessary to the future weightlifters are tested. After the initial 2-year period, exercises with a bar are gradually included. It is a compulsory condition that the bar should be lightened and the discs wooden. From a psychological point of view, it is best for the coaching bar to have about the same size, the same dimensions and color as the one used in competitions. Back squat is among the simplest exercises, easiest to perform at the beginning. At the same time, it helps to feel and correctly regulate the tension of the basic group of muscles, those of the legs and the trunk. That is a point of moment, since they are of key importance in weightlifting. To prevent the appearance of undesirable complications in the waist area, leather belts should be used from the very first attempts. During squatting, the feet are apart at shoulder width. The toes are slightly parted. The muscles of the back are tightened to prevent bending of the trunk. The head is up. front squat, requirements with respect to the position of feet, trunk, and head are the same. The difference is in the functions of the arms. The elbows are lifted high to the front under the bar and must not be lowered or allowed to touch the knees. This is achieved by active participation of the muscles of the back, which fix the trunk in a straight position. The fingers hold the bar securely and should not drop it throughout the exercise. Since deep front squat is an element of clean and jerk, its mastering at that stage will facilitate future work. Coaching in the technique of competitive exercise starts with clean and jerk because of the comparatively simpler structure of its separate elements in comparison with snatch. The consideration that greater weights can be lifted in jerk should not bother us because, as we noted above, exercises are carried out with a lightened coaching bar. The starting position is characterized by symmetrical positioning of the feet with respect to the bar center. The toes point aside outwards. The legs are bent at the hips, knees, and ankles. The trunk is straight, the head is up. The hands grip the bar in a hook grip. Since the positioning of the separate parts of the body and the degree of leg bending are individual, two basic reference points are sufficient to take the optimum starting position. The subfemoral area should only touch the bar, and the shoulders should be positioned exactly above it. This is acceptable for all lifters, regardless of individual characteristics. Lifting the bar from the platform starts with consecutive activizing of the legs and trunk deployers. First knee, then pelvo-femoral joints are deployed. The first attempts are made slowly, a compulsory requirement being that the arms should be straight and the bar should be kept near the body. For the performance to acquire the necessary rhythm, amplitude, and speed in attempts to come, deployment of the pelvo-femoral joints is achieved with a powerful effort of the muscles of the back. The movement of the trunk is directed upwards and backwards. The head remains motionless and forms a still prolongation of the trunk. During the final stage of bar pulling, the body is on tiptoe, after which the muscles lifting the shoulders and the arm deployers join in the dynamic activity. The elbows are above the bar. Our experience of the past several years has demonstrated that the use of the integral method during the period of bar pulling and second pull mastering is by far more effective in obtaining results in comparison with the part-by-part one, since there is actually no sharp delineation between the separate faces. When the muscles deploying the legs and the back return to stillness under the impact of its own weight and the effort of the hands on the bar, the body starts a downward motion. During crossing with the bar, possibilities are created for the wrists and elbows to twirl under it. It rests on the shoulders and collarbone. The lifter takes a fully grounded foot position with a scope of leg bending that will allow the trunk to reach a height corresponding to the one at which the bar has been pulled out. Since high pulling out of heavy weights during jerk is impossible, from the very next lifting, trainees are coached to squat lower till full squat is effected. The question arises, is that acceptable at the initial stage of coaching? Our answer is positive. Mistakes made are quickly corrected and good performances at bar cleaning with full squat can be achieved even at initial exercises. Effort's realization in clean and jerk is effected by jerking the bar above head level with tightly outstretched arms. The most popular and efficient technical device is front-back leg positioning, the so-called split. At the beginning, this is exercised without the bar. The lines drawn perpendicular to each other function as reference marks and correctors. The problem of which foot should be in front position is solved in a simple manner. It is a matter of convenience. The front positioned foot should be fully grounded, with the heel turned slightly outwards. The rear positioned foot should be grounded on tiptoes somewhat earlier, with the heel also turned slightly outwards. Repeated performances are especially useful for the purpose of motive habit automation. Jerking of the bar from chest level starts with its gripping from racks. Elbows are well twirled under the bar, the trunk is straight and the head is up. Squatting and raising with the legs is carried out with fully grounded feet. During weight fixation above the head, the arms are brought to active work. Mistakes during first performances are unavoidable. Subsequent explanations and corrections gradually clear up the performances. When the split is well performed, the arms are tightly stretched in the area of the elbows, the trunk is perpendicular to the platform, and the weight is evenly distributed on the two legs. The integral performance of clean and jerk is an important point. Sufficient time should be allowed for that purpose, and optimal performances should be aimed at. Before mistakes are cleared up, coaching should not go on ahead. Once acquired, erroneous motive habits are difficult to eliminate and erase. For this reason, it is of special importance that attention be drawn beforehand to anticipated mistakes and the causes leading to them. Sometimes, however, unsatisfactory performance is due to individual characteristics. In such cases, excellent knowledge of motive biomechanics is required in order to adapt the technique to the individual characteristics without violating its general principles. In such cases, an important role can be played by modals. Best performances of clean and jerk in the group may be used as such. Most convincing for young weightlifters, however, are the performances of master lifters. Videotapes, as well as live performances, give an exact idea not only of external appearance, but also of the degree of effort-making within the separate phases. That helps the coaching process and facilitates passing on to individual technical perfectioning. Use of scraps of various materials in the coaching process preserves the skin on the inside of the palms from possible damage during repeated attempts. Snatch coaching, despite experience and already established motive habits, we will still come across definite difficulties. They are mainly due to the complex coordination requirements of the exercises. The starting position is, as a whole, familiar. Positioning of feet, trunk, and head is very similar to the one during the deep squat style in clean. The main difference here lies in the wide grip. Exact recommendations as to its width cannot be given. It depends on the anthropometric peculiarities of the individual, on the flexibility and sense of coordination. That is why every competitor has his own grip. The wide grip in snatch determines efficiency and great speed during bar pulling and second pull. Bearing that in mind, and on the basis of already acquired skills, from their first attempts, trainees perform pull and second pull with a greater speed, ending with toe lifting of the body, and including, in the final effort, the shoulders and the arms. Here again, keeping the bar near the body is a must. Natural way to lift the weight above the head is to activate from that point on the arms. That, however, is incorrect, since it does not correspond to the technical rules and creates the wrong motive habits. The arms press the bar and the legs remain uncurved at the knee. Coaching begins with squats, the bar kept above the outstretched arms. That is how sense of accuracy and equilibrium are created. The trunk is straight or slightly bent forward in the waist. The weight is evenly distributed on the two legs. After the performance of the introductory exercises with squat, the bar over the head, we proceed to snatch with minimum bending of the legs at the knee and pelvo-femoral joints. The difference in comparison with incorrect performance we saw at the beginning is that when the leg and trunk deployers are over with their function, the lifter, using his arms to interact with the bar as quickly as possible, squats with wholly grounded feet. The shoulders are positioned exactly below the bar, and the hands are energetically stretched up exactly at the moment when the vertical speed of the bar dies out. The correct performance of this exercise is of extreme importance. In order to snatch the bar to that position, it is necessary that all movements should be carried out with full amplitude. Reaching such amplitude is itself connected with the development of a certain speed. Thus, as a final result, besides reaching the level of correct technical performance, speed power qualities are also cultivated. In order to achieve maximum realization of the possibilities of the separate lifters, we gradually approach a lower fixation point. On the basis of the skills so far attained, every following snatch is done aiming at lower squats till full squat is reached. Complete snatch in full squat position, however, does not mean that it has been mastered. We can claim that it is only when the performance reaches a certain rhythm. Legs shifting is a point of great moment during full squat positioning. Until recently, the belief prevailed that they should be shifted forwards and aside. Practice and performances of master lifters have shown that this is not so. Shifting should be directed aside and backwards. The theoretical explanation runs as follows. The sum total force applied to the weight center of the system lifter bar at the final of the pull out brings about equilibrium, braking in a backward direction. The performance of every competitor bears its own specific style. That is determined by the individual morphological characteristics, the speed force qualities, flexibility, and sense of coordination. The quality of the coaching process depends on a number of factors. Photographic, cyanogramming, and the like illustrations give greater reality to explanations that have not given, the very beginning, the precise idea. On the other hand, live demonstrations of master lifters supply the coach with an opportunity to give exact and timely explanations as to his requirements. They encourage active overcoming of difficulties, willpower training, and self-analysis. It is thus that, from the very beginning, without blind style copying, young lifters embark upon the correct road, the road of self-perfectioning and high goals. Forms of coaching may differ. In Bulgaria, the practice of making contacts with competitors from the best club teams and with the country's representative team is widely popular. During training sessions of the national team, young lifters will be able to watch power clean, power jerk, clean and power jerk, power snatch, and other special auxiliary exercises. The aim is they're getting acquainted with the means and methods of technique perfectioning and physical qualities development. Young trainees get a visual proof that high-class sporting and technical mastership is unthinkable without the use of methods and data supplied by modern science. Precise registering and automatic processing of information received helps education and coaching process optimization, which in turn is of crucial importance for the attainment of high-class sporting results.
Times past with this man, Vasily Alexyev, who in 1970 in Columbus, Ohio, became the first man in the world to lift over 500 pounds. Super heavyweight class as Anatoly Pisarenko became the new weightlifting superstar, shattering Alexyev's records. Other Soviet lifters have now come onto the scene, and the weights keep going up. Now over 80 pounds, more than Alexyev's historic lift. However, Soviet dominance is now challenged by others, notably Krastev of Bulgaria. The battle of the super heavyweights continues today at the World Weightlifting Championships in Stockholm, Sweden.
Numerous islands underlined by its many bays. The historical tradition of 7 centuries has lent a distinct touch to Stockholm, highlighted by this building, the Royal Palace. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Beatty. We're in the charming industrial suburb.
Supply of super heavyweight replacements, Bob, and here we're looking at Alexander Gunyashev of the Soviet Union, as well as Leonid Taranenko, the 1980 Olympic champion in the 242-pound class. But the real challenger appears to be Antonio Krastev from Bulgaria. Here we see warming up in the snatch.
And getting ready to come out right now, Taranenko of the Soviet Union, who weighed in today at 277 pounds. He'll be attempting 407 3/4 pounds in the snatch lift, the snatch being one continual movement overhead. 2 different types of lifts in weightlifting, the snatch and the clean and jerk, which is a 2-part lift. 3 attempts in each. Best lift of the snatch combined with the best lift of the clean and jerk for the overall total.
One of the interesting things about Taranenko is a low style, Bob. Let's watch for it. There it is. Weights well overhead.
And he has 407 3/4 pounds overhead and takes the lead here in the snatch lift. Bruce, you mentioned that low style he has. He really does almost bottom out.
He's really very unique in that particular case because he gets a tremendous pull, but his flexibility in the ankles and hips is unbelievable. Look how low his bottom is in comparison to his feet. It almost touches the platform. This is tremendous flexibility show, Bob.
And Taranenko has really kind of given his confidence a boost, making that first of 3 attempts in the snatch. Here walking backstage. And here we have Alexander Gunyashev of the Soviet Union. He hasn't even started lifting yet. He's the world record holder in the snatch lift. And